This demonstration is for Essilor Corporation, a manufacturer and seller of eyewear components, particularly the pucks that make the glasses for individuals. This is an introductory course on basic optics for new people entering the organization that need basic understanding of different people, what their conditions are, and how these particular products help them with their vision. One of the things we're going to start out with is some basic concepts around how the eye works. And we use animation, we use information to explain the concepts of light coming into the eye. Based on the sun shining off objects, it enters the eye. It then enters the cornea, the pupil, and as we're building this concept, we're giving them the understanding of what's happening with vision. Eventually, it gets back to the retina, and your eye then flips it around. Your brain sees the object in its correct orientation. Now, this is just an introductory concept, so now we're going to start to talk about how different eye shapes have different issues. So if your eye does not focus the light at the back of the eyeball and the retina, you're going to see things in a blurry state. Sometimes it can push the focal point past the back of the eye, and again, things are blurry. So those are the conditions we're going to be fixing with this particular eyewear. Now, what we wanted to do is also make this more human and help the learners understand that different people have different situations, different eye conditions that they need to treat. That's very important to understand not only how the lenses work, but different ways of putting it together to properly meet the expectations of these individuals. So over here we have some different people we can click on. This young gentleman has trouble seeing objects far away. This woman has trouble seeing objects up close, and you can see as we're doing this, we're blurring out different perspectives so the learner gets an understanding of what they're experiencing. And then after you learn about these different conditions with the different people that you'll be working with throughout the course, then we're going to start to match them up with different eye conditions: presbyopia, hyperopia, myopia, and astigmatism. And so the learner reads about these different concepts and then starts to apply them to the different individuals' conditions that they've learned about. And then they can submit it and see if they got it right. They've actually identified each one. And now we're going to learn a little bit more about how these different components of the lenses will affect light coming into the eyeball. So in this one, we've actually created a little mini lab where the learners can drag different prism shapes into the light and see how these shapes will affect the light. And as you can see, it's bending it. And then we ask a question: the triangle shape, what effect had on the light? What did you observe? And it says, and again, we're asking these questions to actively promote learning. It bends towards the thick end of the light, and that's correct. And now we're going to show how this particular shape then will affect the lens shape that a eyewear has, and what will it do to the light going into the person's eye. So again, a little mini lab where you're dragging this minus lens in front of the eye, and you can see how it changes the depth of the focal point. If we add a plus lens, it pulls it forward, so you start to understand the concept of how these particular lenses work with the eye. Which lens pushes light backward? That would be the minus lens, and then it'll ask you to do the same, and which pulls the light forward. And after we do our little experimentation, that's a plus lens. And then we move to an actual individual. So we'll select Carrie here, and it talks a little bit about her situation. And as you can see, this is a lens that has no correction in it, and she's seeing things blurry. And if I were to change to a plus lens, how things get better. If I were to go to a minus lens, so you're seeing cause and effect of situational learning for these devices. And again, what we're just trying to do is help that learner understand that these components exist, that we have customers with different situations, and then we'll be applying these concepts in later activities around selling and mapping products to the specific individual. Thank you so much for taking a look.